Hi everyone, it's Tim Durling. Welcome to Tim's Vinyl Confessions. Once again, I thank everyone for watching and taking a little time out to spend it with me. I appreciate it. This is the next one in a series that I started a while ago, looking through some of my old tour books. Tour books are kind of a thing of the past, and the one I'm actually going to talk about today is a tour book from the very first concert I ever saw, or at least the very first tour I ever saw. I'll explain. Very first show I ever saw was in February of 1993. Saw Bon Jovi in concert at the Cumberland County Civic Center in Portland, Maine. It's now known as the Cross Insurance Center. It's the Cumberland County Civic Center in my heart. Great memories of the show. The Jeff Healey Band, the late Jeff Healey, opened. And Bon Jovi were like my gateway band into hard rock, so it kind of makes sense that it was the first show I ever saw. Actually met John Bon Jovi on that earlier that day. Got his autograph, very dark autograph on a dark surface, but it was pretty overwhelming for a very, very first concert. And I didn't actually get the tour book at that show. What I did get was my very first concert tee, which, over the years became very thread worn. You could spread it over a printed page and read through it. But my daughter Marley, who you've met before, took a lot of my old tees, put them on canvas, and kind of made art prints out of them, which is kind of neat. This is what it looked like. Just had the Keep the Faith album cover on it. That was the tour. So this is up on my wall. And I'm going to show you the pages of the Keep the Faith tour book. So before we take a look at the tour book, that is the signature I was talking about. That's the Bed of Roses cassette single, which I had just bought, not knowing that John was in the same mall. So if you use your imagination, there is scribbling there. It's his signature. And there is the ticket stub. Let's see, what was the price? $19.50 adult. Unbelievable. You couldn't buy a keychain for that now, I don't think. So there you go. And then I saw them again later that same year at the old Moncton Coliseum, actually like 10 months to the day. So February 13th and then December 13th, $32.50. Of course, that's in Canadian, so that might explain a little bit of the price difference. So here it is. And the tour actually wasn't called the Keep the Faith tour. It was called the I'll Sleep When I'm Dead tour, 1993. The Portland show, I think, was the 5th show on the tour. The tour had just begun. And so by the time that December rolled around, saw them again, the set list had changed a little bit. For one thing, they added I'll Sleep When I'm Dead. That was a single at the time. During the summer. So, and I remember when they did that, a bunch of the road crew were beside the stage doing this, kind of dance you'd see people in a beach movie in the 60s doing. It was kind of funny. So yeah, I'd never seen one of these before. What's a tour book? I had a shirt, but I didn't want to buy another shirt, so I bought this. I'm glad I did. Now, it was a big deal that John cut his hair at the time. At the time, it made a difference. The rest of the guys pretty much looked the same. But, him being the front man and everything changed the whole look of the band. Cool collage, rehearsals here happening. And there's a write-up by a guy named Robert Santelli. I don't know if that name means anything to anyone. I don't know if that name means anything to anyone. It's the only time I've ever seen it. It's about basically the history of the band. Now, their last tour for the New Jersey album ended in February of 1990. And I don't need to tell you that between 1990 and 1993, the rock and roll landscape had changed so much. These guys were one of the very few bands of their era to ride it out. So now some on-stage shots. Band members are listed down here, but it's very hard to read. John there. That's from the Bed of Roses video, which, that was the current single at the time. Richie. Speaking of videos, that shot for sure, maybe a few others are from his video for Ballad of Youth from his excellent debut solo album. Talk about that more a little bit later. Dave Bryan, the guy that goes back the longest with John, still with him to this day. As is drummer Tico Torres. That's the original Bon Jovi logo from the first album on this road case, which is kind of neat. The late Alec John Such on bass. Some more live shots. Collage of live shots, posed shots here. These typically don't have a lot of text in them. It's more about, getting you excited for the show. Some information, road crew, lighting, all of that, management, and some fan club info here. And here's where they list the discography, which they also included John's Blaze of Glory and Richie Sambora, A Stranger in This Town. More people need to hear this album. This is an excellent album. It doesn't necessarily sound like a Bon Jovi album, but it is a great, great album. This, to me, is the core of Bon Jovi. After this, it started to get patchy for me. Still had a few good songs, but I really, really still like all of these band albums and these two solo albums here. And then there's your back cover. That is the Bon Jovi tour book from 1993. And another thing, how is 1993 30 years ago? That is so crazy. So I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to have some more of these looks through the old tour books. And as always, the merch is for sale. It's some really cool t-shirt designs, but it's more than just that. So there's a coffee mug, the Tim's Vinyl Confessions logo. Got little buttons here. Just your classic pins. Get some stickers, unspooled stickers, and this sort of tone arm design here. Go to tpublic.com and you can browse all the merch that's available. So yeah, that's my look through my only Bon Jovi tour book, first tour book I ever bought. Thanks for watching Tim's Vinyl Confessions.